Hi, everyone. Welcome to Art and Talk's Impression Show. Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm Leslie Sue, the host for Impression. If you're new to Impression and Art and Talk, welcome. If you've been watching us for a while, thank you for your continued support. We appreciate it. As you know, Art and Talk is all about meeting artists and being inspired. So today on Art and Talk, our guest is a self-taught visual artist. She's a native from the Fort Lauderdale area, and she's going to be giving us an overview of her beautiful paintings. And she also is the owner and operator of Art in Oakland Park Studio. We'll find out what that's about, and an amazing event coming up in August, which we'll touch upon, where kids will be representing their artwork as well. All right, so we'll be touching on all these areas, and thank you again for watching. I'd like to welcome our guest for today, Angela Rush. Hi, Angela, welcome.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate having me on today.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have you on.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess we could open up with, let's talk about you as an artist, Angela. And so in your bio, you like to kind of work with a lot of different mediums, but currently you're kind of honed in on resin and acrylic. Could you share with us what that's about and what you're creating?
Yeah, thank you. So I am an abstract artist. I work with lots of different colors and texture. I do a lot of fluid art in acrylics and a palette knife. I work with my hands a lot. I do very little brush painting, so a little non-traditional in my methods and style. I do fluid art, like acrylic pouring, which has become pretty popular. The videos, a lot of people watch the videos of people creating the acrylic art. So I do fluid art mostly. I have a couple, and then I share that at the studio also. It's a little different kind of mediums to work with, and it flows, and it's very therapeutic. So it's not worried about details or technique. It's more of a free-flowing, intuitive style of art, which is very therapeutic for me. And I figured it's so therapeutic for me, and it really helps me, that I should share that with others as well. So I do lots of other things. This is some of the resin stuff. These are phone cases. I like to create things that are functional, something that you can use instead of just art that hangs on the wall, some coasters, resin, and some things that you can use. The resin is a different kind of medium that a lot of people either are maybe intimidated. It's a little bit scary to work with because it is, like heavy chemicals and things that a lot of people don't work with. But it's a lot of fun, and I just experiment with things and play and see what I can figure out and what I can make of it.
Mhm. And so I love that. So you're creating on the canvas, but you also have a variety of art products to bring like art into like a functional aspect as well.
Yeah, we just did a tie-dye workshop, a tie-dye party. So, of course, that's always fun, and it's something you can wear. And we do tote bags and, like cheese boards, charcuterie boards, and coasters, and all kinds of fun things that we can use every day.
Now this is the Art in Oakland Park Studio. So you host a
Right.
lot of different events. There's a lot of things going on there.
Yeah, we try to get dirty and have fun, and I have guest artists come and do some share what they create, their talents. I have 14 different artists' work displayed in the studio as well. So I have an author, I have a seamstress, I have dream catchers, I have all kinds of home decor items. I have someone who wraps crystals and does jewelry. I have all kinds of local makers. So we have a nice little community there in the studio.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds that way. That's
Yeah.
awesome, Angela. I'd love to touch upon this free flow abstract art, and you've touched upon some what I found very interesting things that you mentioned about the therapeutic aspect of that. Can you share with us how you find that healing and how have other artists where in these classes that you've taught and that you know interacted with, what would have been their response, and how does that whole thing kind of play out in the area of healing and whatnot?
So it's very interesting. A lot of people, when they come, are what you would call like a type A, very analytical and trying to get things just the right way. And they come in with an a mindset of, okay, I have to do this right. I have to get things perfect. And they completely get turned around at 180 when I tell them just roll the paint on the canvas, or whatever medium that we're working with. So it is definitely a way of letting loose, and it's very freeing, and it's amazing the psychology behind it too. When you see somebody really get to that spot of just letting loose and letting it flow, it's a beautiful thing. And it's something that as adults, I mean, the kids, they are always letting loose and letting it flow. So the kids are, really good at that, getting to that point. But for us adults, a lot of us that, work, I was in the medical field for a long time. So it's a totally different world to go from that, and very detail oriented, and getting the job done the right way and step by step. And I think to have a chance to just let loose and not worry about guidelines and not worry about techniques, and to just be free and get back to that childlike state of just creating and letting it flow through you is so important for us. And my art is my therapy, and that's how I started, creating. Was I had a little free time, creating again. I was, of course, an artist as a kid, but I had some free time and started painting again, and you just get lost in it. And it's a beautiful place to be, to not worry about what time it is, or what you're doing later that day, just to be able to be present in the moment. And in that space is wonderful. And the more people I could share that with, the better. It makes me really feel like I'm actually doing something good in this world. So it's awesome. It's very rewarding for me.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And that was a great um, elaboration on how freeing it is and being in the moment and just kind of almost like a mental release and not really having to be fixated on the results, just like
Right.
almost like creating for just the pure act of just creating and then just seeing what happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now you don't use paintbrushes. You just basically, as you said, use your hands or just kind of pouring type of method.
Yeah, once in a while I'll do something with a little paintbrush or a palette knife, but mostly fluid art, and mostly or with my hands. I do doodles sometimes. I don't have anything with me now, but um like a soft tribal-ish kind of doodle that I do work with paint pens sometimes in that kind of way. But that's very, meditative and therapeutic as well, to just doodle and keep going. So yeah.
Angela, when you approach this art, do you have anything that is preset in your mind, maybe in terms of color or texture or anything, or is it just like I'm just going to go in and just see what happens?
Yeah, I pretty much just go in and see what happens. When I do plan, it never ends up the way that I planned it anyway. So, I kind of gave up on that idea. But yeah, I like to just let it flow through me.
Now, with the acrylic and resin, are you adding other pieces in some of the work as well? So it's sort of a mixed media in some of them?
I do. I do. This piece that's behind me has some, I don't know if you can tell, but it has some broken glass and broken mirror in it as well. I do add, sometimes I do some different crystals and stones. I add those into some of the pieces. Um, I do collaborations with a friend of mine who does dream catchers, and sometimes we combine the two pieces with a painting in the background and some different, like hand weaved pieces in the front. Um, but yeah, I do add some different things to some of my pieces to add that texture, and then I also use the like a joint compound or a thick media to thicken up like modeling paste type things for texture in my work too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have one actually here. Let's see if you can see the texture in there.
That's beautiful.
So thanks. That has a lot of texture on it. It's really heavy.
Now, what about in terms of naming your artwork? Sometimes that can be important for an artist, like this painting is called this sculpture is called that. Is that aspect important to you, like what you're going to call this painting, and then where does that play out in terms of the piece? Is it when it's finished, you know, while you're creating it? How does that play out?
Well, you got me on that one. That's like the worst part for me. I hate naming my paintings. um, when I do enter a show, you know, like a exhibit or some kind of show uh, here locally, that's my worst part. I hate naming the paintings. So I'll usually go with, you know, whatever the theme of the show is, or but then it's hard because I'm like, oh yeah, what did I name that painting again? I forgot. So yeah, that's kind of an afterthought for me. It's uh it's definitely not my forte.
Yeah, I think that kind of ties in with the beauty of the message of your work is just being in the moment and being free and not kind of being in like a linear, logical kind of, yeah,
Right,
right. You want to be like very unconfined with it.
right.
Yeah.
And I kind of leave it up to people to define also, you know, whoever's looking at the art, I want them to be able to come up with what it brings up in them and what it makes them feel, you know. And I feel like maybe if you say, well, this is, you know, this is going to be this, and you put a name on it, then you are kind of imposing on their perception of it in a way too, you know. And a lot of my art is where you can put it, I can't think of the word for it, but whichever direction they want to put it, they can put it. So it doesn't have to be this way, you know. And usually when I see art up where in there in its home end up home and it's wherever it ends up, it's usually not the same way that I created it. And I always think that's really interesting because, you know, we all have our own way of seeing things. So I like to leave that up to whoever's enjoying the art.
Mhm. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
another like really interesting, beautiful aspect. You know, is that you leave it up to the viewer or the owner in terms of how they want to present it, and that's such a cool
Mm.
option. It doesn't everything that you're doing is so cool because it's breaking boundaries and it's like there's like no rules. That the only rule is you know whatever works. And
Yeah.
working in the abstract way too is like you were saying, like maybe you were creating it vertically, but then the owner wants it maybe upside down, or maybe they want it
Mhm.
horizontal. And it's just a very, very open, as you were saying, creative, fluid flow, literally from, you know, A to Z, so to speak.
Yep. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It is it's a great feeling, you know, and we all, like I said, we all have different perceptions of things. So I want to leave it up to everybody to for their own interpretation.
Right.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm going to pull up a flyer of a really awesome event you have coming up in your studio with kids. Let me go ahead and get that up so we can take a look and have you tell us what that's about. All right. Now I know this is with kids. I think it's ages 6 to 14, and it's going to recognize them as a young artist and have their art on display. Tell us about this event.
Yes. So we are providing all the art materials for the kids, and we're trying to get as many kids involved as we can, ages 6 to 14. And we're going to have a big opening reception where they're each going to make a 12 by 12 canvas painting, and we are going to display them in the lobby of Plunge Beach Resort, who they have been doing this for a few years now, not with the children but with other local artists. We go display our art, and my friend Ellen Cohen Berman is the curator there, and we go display our art, and the show will be the display will last about a month usually, and different people from all over the world are coming to this resort here on the beach in Fort Lauderdale, Lauderdale by the Sea. So you get exposure to people from all over the world. So the kids are going to bring their art. There we give them all the supplies, the canvas, the paint, and everything. They're going to create their pieces, and we're going to display the art for about a month. And they have a chance to sell their artwork too, and to go through each each process, each step of the process, just like any other artist that is entering any kind of show or exhibit. As you start, as an artist, when I started, it was a very intimidating process, and to apply, and then you see if you're getting accepted or denied, and just the whole process of it was a little scary and intimidating. So for the kids to be able to get exposed to that at a young age and get to go through the whole process and see how it works is really exciting. And I do a lot of work with the kids. I do a lot of events and workshops with kids, and it's definitely one of my favorite parts of the process. It's so much fun. Um, but to get to go through the whole process with them, and let them freely create. There's no rules. They can make whatever they want, paint whatever they want, and display it in a resort. I mean, how cool is that? And we're going to do an opening reception August 13th. For anybody local that sees that, everyone is welcome. We're going to have some entertainment. We're going to have food, drinks, and everybody can come see the art that the kids have created, and everything's going to be for sale, so they have a chance to sell their pieces as well.
Mhm. And now, for the local South Florida residents that are watching, is there still opportunity for kids to get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. As many that want to come get involved, they can. So you'll have my contact information. They can even either email me or text me, and come down to the studio, pick up the art supplies. I have a Google application that they can fill out and agree to everything, and that gives all the details of dates and all that. And we would love it. Whoever wants to get involved, we would love for them to join us.
Mhm, absolutely.
Yeah.
What a fantastic opportunity for kids to show off their art skills. And as you said, also get into the process of art without being intimidated, with
Mm,
rules, and just literally just create under your guidance, and, the others, that are there as well.
yeah. It's exciting. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, we need to move into wrapping up the show. Angela, is there anything that you'd like to touch upon while we have another moment, as you as an artist or the owner and operator of the Art in Oakland Park studio with all your fun events and your studio space, which I believe you also rent. Is that correct as well? That it's also spaces for rent?
No, I don't have spaces for rent. I do have resident artists that show their work there.
Right.
And I don't charge for the space. They take a small commission when they sell the art or sell whatever it is that they create.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so we're pretty full right now, but I have lots of events coming up. I have a Disney Imagineer artist, Chris Canitas, who works for Disney. He comes and does events here at the studio with me. So we have something coming up with him at the end of August. If anybody wants to find out about upcoming events, the Facebook page is Art in Oakland Park. The Instagram is Art in Oakland Park. My email is artinoaklandpark at Yahoo. So if you even just Google Art in Oakland Park, you can pretty much find me. And I'm always, up for collaborations with other local artists. I am, working on trying to build this community, and hopefully in the future, I'm going to get an art walk going in the neighborhood. I am with the city of Oakland Park. I'm on the art and culture board with the city also, and trying to get more art and culture in our neighborhood and in our city that's growing a lot right now. So I'm always down for any kind of collaboration, events, or guidance. If anybody's trying to get into the art world, I try to build a community and have a nice group of artists that we can all help each other, and we all, do know different aspects, because it is intimidating in the beginning, and it all depends who you know, and there's always events going on and different things. So I love just being able to help anybody that I can, for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah. I, I
Yeah.
I love this vibrant community that you've created to support artists, to um, have spaces for resident artists to show their work, and of
Yeah.
course the work that you create as well and that you teach. So what an awesome community that you created to really promote the arts locally, and as you said, with culture and your upcoming event, we wish you a lot of success with the kids,
Yeah.
and all the other fun events that you have. So thank you for keeping the South Florida art community alive and vibrant with all the different events that you host.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's so much fun, and it's so exciting, and it's so rewarding to really be able to share that with others. So
Yes,
I appreciate it. I appreciate your exposure as well.
thank you. Well,
Thank you.
oh, you're welcome. And thank you so much for being our guest today, Angela, on Art and Talks Impression. And love the message through your art. I love the freedom, that you really want to give out, and just, really to create and to inspire others to create, and to have a warm embrace for local artists. And we'll be providing all the information. So those that are local that want to have their kids participate in the upcoming August event for kids. They'll be able to do that. And of course, those that aren't local can follow you to see what's going on. And will you be having any events where they'll be live? So those that maybe who are local that can't miss, who maybe can't attend live, or maybe want to see what's going on, and then those that are not local, anything going to be going on live that people can kind of tap into?
So I actually started some classes, like some virtual fluid art classes, but I didn't really have any attendance, so I kind of let that go. But I'm always happy to get that going. So you've inspired me a bit to maybe start some virtual things happening too.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, definitely keep, if anybody wants, anything like that in the future, just keep an eye out on the Facebook page. That's where most of our events are, and I'm down for that for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
That would be great. All right,
Yeah.
Angela, thank you so much again for being our
Thank
guest today,
you.
and much success with your personal art and all your community endeavors.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching Art and Talk today on our Impression Show. Please stay connected with us on our YouTube channel and also on Facebook. Please subscribe, like, and share. And those of you that are in the South Florida area, and you have kids, or you know of kids in your neighborhood or your school that want to participate in Angela's event, please make sure you look in the description section of our video so that you can participate in that, and get everything within the deadline. All right. So thank you so much again for watching, and we'll talk soon on the next Art and Talks Impression. Until then, be well and be blessed.